Good morning, all. My name is Don Zavis, National Sales Trainer and Sales Coach. I do keynote speaking throughout the country on revenue development topics, and I'd like to welcome you to today's installment of Sales Triage. Today I want to talk about the negative sell, which is kind of a different component from what you're going to find in most selling situations. In most selling situations, the salesperson generally is the one that's talking about how great the product is, what great benefit it brings to the client, all the wonderful solutions that it will provide for their problem. And negative sell is just the opposite of that. A negative sell is where we're going to question whether or not the value of our product and services can actually take care of the problem. But to start with, let me give you a quick illustration of what that means. And for that, I'm going to go back to 13th century literature. So anyone who's had any kind of literature classes, college, high school, anything like that, there was a period of time that all writing was primarily religious. So if you think of the monks, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years ago, where they were writing Bibles. And one monk might work on a Bible for the totality of his life, all by hand, all hand calligraphied, all the pictures and stuff hand drawn. Well, with the advent of more modern manufacturing techniques, specifically the printing press, they were now able to take and utilize printing, stories, books, things like that, on a much more rapid basis, but on a much larger basis, right? You didn't have to spend your entire life doing one Bible. You could do the one Bible and then print off many, many copies on the common printing press. Well, what that did is that opened up the opportunity for reading, which historically had been just religious, for entertainment, right? Reading that you could now do for just your entertainment value. And it was interesting that there was also the advent of fiction. Up to that point in time, fiction writing didn't take, again, you were primarily writing Bibles, right? So now you're talking about fiction writing and stories and things of that nature. And in order to make the stories more exciting, there needed to be tension in the story, right? Something going on, some kind of activity that would engage the reader's attention. And what we found was in the advent of that fiction, there was a thing called the antagonist, and there was a protagonist. The antagonist was the person that wanted something more, right? That would be sometimes the bad person, sometimes the good person, but it was the person that always wanted something more, whereas the protagonist historically was that person that wanted something less. Now, we fast forward to 2017. In the selling situation, historically, we as salespeople are the antagonist. We want it more in some cases, right? It's our natural inclination to want to make sales. And because of that, we've developed a kind of a negative persona that surrounds the salesperson, right? So, it's let the buyer beware, not let the seller beware. There's, you've never heard of a fast-talking customer, right? You've never, a plaid jacket and wearing client. That's not the case. They normally look negatively at the salesperson, not necessarily at the prospect. But what if there was a way that we could turn the tables? Which, when we were kind of selecting our roles, because normally I'm the antagonist, I want it more, right? And the customer or prospect is the protagonist, they want it less. What if I took the protagonist view? What if I kind of adopted that posture first? The only thing that was left would be the antagonist, right? It would be the person that wants it more. And I would talk, and I do this because I'm a product of the product. I coach and train exactly like I sell. And I'll talk to clients all the time, and I'll say, Bob, look, I think I can help you, but why do you want to pay me a whole bunch of money to improve your sales? Why don't you just, go to Redbox and get a sales training video and buy a couple pizzas and, put it on your conference room. You can save yourself a lot of money. Now, you'd think as a salesperson, that runs absolutely contrary to everything that you would say. But you know what I find when I say those very words again? I am adopting the protagonist view. I want it less. That only leaves the antagonist view for my prospect, the one that wants it more. And they say, Don, we've tried that. It didn't work. And I'll come back and say, well, I got to tell you, I don't know if I can help you. It's going to be blah, 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 blah. In fact, if anything, I'm backtracking out of the sale. And the more I backtrack, the more that the prospect comes forward. They take that antagonist view. Bob, back in the role play. So, Bob, I got to tell you, my training is real demanding. It's hard. It's going to require some effort on your behalf, right? And I don't know if you guys are willing to make that commitment. Now, back out of role play. Of course, Bob's now going to chime up and say, you know what? We're fully committed. We're going to do it. We're going to do anything we need to do to be able to improve our sales. So the more I take that protagonist view, I want it less. It only leaves the antagonist view. They want it more. They are the ones that are kind of pushing it. So when I make a statement and say, you know, Bob, we've had a chance to, you know, invest some time. I'm not really sure how you see me being able to help you. And Bob will, back in the role play, Bob would say, well, you know, Don, you have great programs related to referrals and introductions. We're doing very poorly on that. My thought is if we bring that in, we'd be able to do that. Now he's selling me on why it makes sense to do business with me. The negative sell. Be that protagonist. Leave your clients to be that antagonist. Ask them how they think the relationship is going to work. And it's okay to say, you know what, I'm not sure how I would be able to help you. Again, the more we back up, the more your clients will come to you. The more you go to them, right, the more pressure they feel from your antagonist view, they'll back up. Well, who do we want to back up? Your client or yourself? Of course, me. So I thank you very much. I appreciate your time. I want to make good use of it. I'm Don Zavis, National Sales Trainer and Sales Coach, and I wish you